Hi, Phil. Hey, everybody's popping up now. I can't hear anything. I hope you guys can hear me. I hear somebody tapping around on a keypad or something there.
I can hear you.
I hear someone tapping on a keypad. There's some 5 Minutes fans. You got that?
Hello. There we go. That's that.
Did you put up a wall, Steve?
Sailor is a real.
Do I?
I was asking if Steve put up a wall.
Steve.
Oh, hold on.
Something.
Muted.
Yes, I did.
No.
I've actually had it up for a while. I did. I record a podcast in here with 2 of my bros, and it's just been the first night that I've actually lugged my whole PC in here because I'm still waiting for a laptop to be shipped.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
well, it's
cool.
beautiful.
I like the curtain. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also have a very sophisticated piece of art that I'm a big fan of.
Just waiting for it.
Oh.
Is that a cushion?
It's a heart.
Yeah, on a
Photo of your hands doing the heart on a cushion.
We found that at IKEA, and I couldn't
Oh my
not buy
gosh.
it because it looks so much like a human
does.
butthole.
It absolutely does.
I'm going to tell you what. Every now and then I stumble onto something that I wish I had bought. There was an oil painting of a family at Goodwill recently.
Oh no.
And I don't know if someone had added vampire fangs to everybody in the family
Oh no.
or if that was the original. But it was like an 80s painting, so everybody was in those
Oh,
wide
no.
lapel pastel blue suits.
Oh my god.
Then,
Did you take a picture at least?
Yeah, and it's on my phone somewhere. Then one time I was at Goodwill, and there was literally a framed photo of the Village People. And if you're too young to know who these are, they were a band in the 70s. And I didn't realize it at the time because I was just a little kid, but they were extremely gay. And what I mean by extremely gay is they even acted extremely gay. But their gimmick, their hitch as a band was everybody in the band dressed as a profession, I guess. And there was a soldier, and there was a cop, and there was a construction worker, and there was an Indian chief. He was my favorite. But this photo had each of the Village People with a small boy dressed like each of them sitting on his lap.
Oh
It was like this framed monument to pedophilia. And I was just like, I cannot believe that I didn't spend $1.50 on that because it was gone the next time I went in. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what I would have done with it, but it was just
Just have it. Put it up like Steve did. Just right on your wall.
it was
I find spectacular stuff at Goodwill all the time. It's actually something we put up on our Facebook page. About once a week, I'll just throw up some weird shit that I found at Goodwill.
Seriously, that's awesome.
it's man, Goodwill is amazing. We have now moved to El Paso, and we found a store called Savers.
Oh
And
yeah, we have that in Austin.
I loved it. And there's
Christmas.
I got 2 margarita glasses the other day from, I can't remember the restaurant chain. It's written on the glass, but the nearest one's in Phoenix. So when I go to Phoenix later this year, I'm going to have to buy 2 more of these. They're huge, and like one of them's a lady, and she's like got cleavage, and one of them's like this dude with the sombrero and the mustache. And then I had to go buy margarita stuff. So they barely fit in the sponge where you do the lime juice to get the salt. They just barely fit in that little thing. So I think they made them that size on purpose. But we're not big drinkers whatsoever. But man, you couldn't pass up these hideous margarita glasses.
Savers is awesome. It's like Goodwill, Steve.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So while we're waiting, here's 31 seconds of voiceover goodness.
Paula Sala is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell her story, we hired that announcer guy from the movies.
When the storm hit, both our cars were totally underwater.
In a world where both of our cars were totally underwater,
We thought it would take forever to get some help.
but a new wind was about to blow.
With Geico, we had our check in 2 days.
Payback. This time, it's for real.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
And the announcer in that commercial was DC Douglas. So another superstar of voiceover. I got to meet him at a convention recently and told him, dude, I just realized it was you in the Geico commercial with Don LaFontaine the other day. He's like, yeah. He was a super nice guy. We're going to meet him. Anime Midwest in Chicago. All right. Well, there's 7 of us here, counting me, so that's 6 students. So we're missing 4 students. At least 2, maybe 3 have said they weren't coming. One said she was coming late because they're doing a makeup for one of Chuck's classes, which is why Chuck isn't making it either. So here we are. And this is a good class. They're going to want to. We're going to talk about demo reels tonight.
Nice.
Which is super important. So if you are new to this whole thing, if you've never done anything in voiceover, we'll start by saying the demo reel is your calling card. It is, other than coaching and equipment, it should be maybe the first thing you spend money on. And I would say cheap equipment, demo reel, then upgrade equipment more than expensive equipment first. But coaching first. You got to get coaching. So the demo reel, I'm going to tell you the story of my demo reel, my commercial demo reel. And we'll just throw it out there now that if you've never made a demo reel, commercial should be your first choice, because it's the one that you can do the most with and you can get the most with and that shows the most. I'll say this, you can't get an animation gig. You can't get a commercial gig with an animation demo reel, but you can get an animation gig with a commercial demo reel, because that can show your range. So I had started voiceover in late 13, early 14, and was doing enough reading and stuff that I knew I needed a demo reel. And so I fell victim to bad search engine optimization, and I ended up going with somebody who was near the top of the how do I get a demo reel web search. And they were great. They were fine. I'm not going to say their names because I'm not pushing them to anybody, because there's many better out there. So I got on with her and she was like, yeah, we could do a demo reel for sure, but you need coaching, my friend. And I was like, yeah, I do. I know I need coaching, but I also need a demo reel. So I got talked into quite a few coaching lessons preceding the demo reel. So I would say if somebody who's producing your demo wants to coach you for extra money, be leery of that. You should say to them, tell you what, I don't want to get coaching lessons with you. Who should I get them with? And if they say, you know what, never mind, let's just produce your demo reel, then you know that none of it is any good. So I got several more lessons from her. So the demo reel was close to 2,000, and with all the lessons, it probably ended up being closer to 3,000. And the demo reel was good. The problem with the lessons was I had really learned about everything she had to say from her free podcasts. And the lessons just seemed to be a repeat of that. Now, this lady had a dude. She was in California, and her dude was in Chicago, and he was an awesome teacher. If I could just get lessons from him, that'd be great. And the demo reel itself was a pretty cool thing. We got online 4 or 5 times. We used a program called Source Connect. So I was in a padded bathroom closet with an AT2020 $150 microphone, and he was in Chicago recording on his end from my microphone using the Source Connect software. The recording sessions were amazing because he coached me during the sessions too. They were as good as any lesson I ever got. And I'm happy with my commercial reel. I put it on a Facebook group one time. It was like, put your demos on here for a critique or whatever. And Bob Bergen critiqued my demo reel. He's the voice of Porky Pig, and he's big in voiceover. And I'm going to put a video, if you guys, there's a video of him going and recording his most recent commercial demo reel. And I'll put that up on Facebook so you can see that process and see what it's like. But Bob said, no, your demo sounds great. It doesn't sound dated. Your range is good. Everything's good on this. This is definitely a professional demo. He said, but here's what I wouldn't do. I posted a SoundCloud link to it. He said, don't post a SoundCloud link. First of all, SoundCloud is free, so it says that you are cheap and you were beginning. Second of all, your SoundCloud link says that your demo was uploaded 2 years ago, so I know it's at least 2 years old. And I replied back, yeah, it's 4 years old. But he said, what you really want is a website with your name in it. And I said, oh, well, here you go, www.andyfieldvoiceover.com. But I didn't want you to have to click on something. I wanted you to just, and he said, oh, okay, well, very good. Then, yeah, you're rocking and rolling. So the demo reel Here's what it does for you. Your demo reel gets you an agent. Then your agent will send you auditions. Your demo reel also will book you work straight up sometimes. I've had clients before say, hey, we liked your demo. We want to hire you for this. We want it to sound like the Advil spot in your demo. And that's it. I literally got a $2,000 national commercial for Homewood Suites because I was on the roster of a post-production studio, and somebody contacted them and said, we need you to redo this Homewood Suites commercial. He said, here's our demos. And they said, we like that guy. Then they called me a week or two later and said, we're running it on Friday night on NBC. Here's another $2,500. So it was a $4,500 commercial. I loved it. So your demo reel is the thing that says, hey, world, I'm a voice actor. This is what I sound like. It's your calling card. It's the thing you send to anyone. It's when you're marketing yourself, you say, hey, I'm a voice actor. I'd love to work with you sometime, or I'd love to get on your roster. Here's my demo. You always say, here's my demo, and you send them your demo. So it's super, super important. And you need so here's what happened. Before I even sat down and did my demo with her, it was Kate McClanahan. That's who it was. Anyway, because I don't want to have to keep dancing around the name. I think her studio is Sound Advice, Big House Studio, something like that. Anyway, I had made my own demo. It was about 3 minutes long. It had commercials and e-learnings and elevator on-hold messages and British accents that were bad and Australian accents that were bad. And I'd put music in it that I'd gotten out of GarageBand and who knows where else. And I had made it. And I sent that demo to every agent that I could find an email address for. I'm talking the big boys in LA. I sent that demo to. I sent it to everybody. So this one agent, bless her heart, Tony Silveri, emailed me back and she said, hey, you're doing this wrong. She said, your demo needs to be a minute long or shorter. It needs to be just one genre. So a commercial demo or an animation demo or an e-learning demo, and put your best stuff up front. Those are the three things she said. So I sat down to edit my demo. And I made just a commercial demo, and I made it under a minute and only commercial stuff in it. And then I sent it again to every agent in the country. It was so terrible. I don't know that I could find it, and I wouldn't play it for you even if I could. But it was so terrible. And 2 agents put me on their roster. I was like, what? And that was while I was recording my good demo. And so I was on... So it was Idiom Talent out of LA, sort of out of LA. The agent is like all over the Pacific. I think he lives in Thailand and Vietnam and Hawaii. He kind of dances around these places, but he's officially an LA agency. And the other one was Rockstar Talent, who apparently she had split from Idiom. So really I was getting all the same auditions from both of them. But, and this is rare, this was like the Cinderella story, I got a $7,000 voiceover gig through that agent. Before I even produced my professional demo. I was like, what? I had to go up to Memphis and record. It was a Blue Cross Blue Shield regional commercial. I mean, it was insane. So that was my dirty, nasty little demo that still got me on some rosters. Well, then my pro demo really gets me on the roster of almost anybody I ask, except for the big dogs in LA and New York. Those are a little harder to woo, and we'll have a whole lesson on agents later on. But I'm on with I'm on with well over a dozen agents now, I think. And, on a given night, I usually get several auditions in the email from agents. Some nights more than others. 2 nights ago, I got like 6 emails, and they were all the same audition. So apparently Panera Bread just said, hey, every agent in the country, please cast for our commercial. Those seem hopeless. But all that to say, you need a demo. You need to, as part of the price of admission into this voiceover world, it's one of the costlier things that you have to spend some time and money on. I've had people before say, well, I got a great demo for $300. Listen to it. And rarely do I listen to something that low where I go, that's fantastic. Sometimes I might listen to it and go, that's acceptable. That would get you. But, you want a demo that rocks. and you want a demo that sounds like you. If you can't reproduce what's in your demo, then that's bad too, because eventually that just collapses around you too. So I've got a little money now, and within the next few months, I'm going to be contacting Chuck Duran. That's who I want to redo my commercial demo with. And I'm going to do an animation demo with Matt Curtis. I don't know if anybody knows Matt. I think he's in Dallas or Austin, one or the other. The only way I know Matt is that he started following me on Twitter because he's in the new Five Nights at Freddy's game, and somehow we started talking. Oh, I know what it was. No, I had a guest speaker in this class one time, Randy Ryan, who's a casting director in Austin for Hamster Ball Games. So Melanie, he's somebody you want to try to interact with socially in real life if there's ever an event. Randall Ryan, he has cast for World of Warcraft before. So Randy said to me, after a lot of times my guest speakers that I bring into this class are as much for me as they are for you. And so Randy later said, hey, he emailed me and said, hey, I just realized I don't have your video game demo. Why don't you send it to me? And I was like, I don't have one. But who should I get one with? And he recommended several people. Mark Grau out of LA is a big one. And he said, but Matt Curtis is a really good one too. I like his style. He studied with Mark Grau. And so I contacted Matt. And I think that's who I'm going to use. And then I'm going to record a strictly automotive commercial demo with Cliff Zellman out of Dallas. And not only, I mean, we'll talk about automotive later, but man, my vision is that every morning I wake up and have 10 little car commercials to do for $50 to $70 a piece, and then I can go about my day. And that happens because car dealerships do 10 to 15 new ads per week, usually, big car dealerships, because they have that many models of car. And there's a new sale every week. It's the Labor Day sale. It's the Memorial Day sale. It's the day after President's Day sale. It's the, it's the almost end of summer blowout sale. I mean, it's just tons of those. And it's, get these for $29,999. Get these for $39,999. Blah, 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 blah. So Cliff is good at that genre of, low paying, but bulk work thing. Anyway, let's look at some demos. And I'm going to lean largely commercial, but we'll talk about some other genres as well. The other thing you want your demo to do is showcase your range. So if it's commercials, there's lots of different commercials. There's the energetic, there's the badass, there's the heartfelt, compassionate, there's the everyday guy next door, girl next door voice. And then on occasion, somebody throws in a character voice in a commercial. But that maybe should go later in your reel, because what we all know is that most people who listen to demo reels listen to the first 10, 20 seconds. So I've got some more philosophies that I'm developing as I go that I'll share with you as we do this. Hang on, I just realized I need to close my door. Hang on. All right, yeah, the door to the studio. All right, I can almost reach it with my headphones. All right, so that was the Don LaFontaine spot. Let's start. I'm going to go to Chuck Duran's website. His website is Demos That Rock. Chuck is not, and here's a good sign too. Chuck's not a voice actor. He's just a demo producer. Let me share my screen here. That's my whole desktop. That's not what I want to share. There we go. All right, so here we go. This is I'm just going to kind of click on some genres. We probably won't listen to a whole demo all the way through tonight, but this is a demo of demos. So this is Chuck's demo of demos that he's made.
View and edit documents on the fly, blaze through the web, and plow through your email at pulse racing speeds. Droid 2, Droid X, Droid Incredible, and Droid Pro. Which droid will you master?
An extraordinary presence. From its awe-inspiring design to its power and performance. The all-new Chevy Camaro SS.
Stream movies instantly over the internet.
Hey, what are you doing for lunch? How about Wendy's spicy Chipotle boneless wings? Fast, fresh, delicious, and ready to go. Wendy's.
Introducing Lunchables Chicken Shake-Ups, made with white meat chicken so you can love your kids' lunch as much as they do. Now that's a reason to smile.
The new XJ reflects a vision that defies preconceptions and transforms the idea of luxury. Now get a special lease on the...
hear the range between those two pieces there? One was really upbeat and one was luxury. So those are commercials. I'm just kind of clicking on these two for the lesser experienced members of the class when you aren't quite sure what certain genres sound like. So here's promos.
Do you know someone who is fashion challenged? Someone who has no style whatsoever? Now's your chance to get them the help they so desperately need. Just go to whatnottowear.com and tell them why your friend deserves to have a fashion makeover.
It's bloody, it's violent, and it's real.
I don't know why, but I'm compelled to seek out that shock value.
This is Ultra Wrestling, G4 Underground.
Now, the time has come for the world to bow to their newfound power. The Ultimate Fighter, Wednesdays at 7 on Spike TV.
No, don't touch that remote. A special bonus Frasier is coming up next on NBC.
All right, now animation. That's one that a lot of times the client will listen to the whole thing through because they're looking to see, you're looking for somebody in your animation reel. Two kinds of animation reels, and sometimes a mix of them. If you're an animation person and seeking that world, and I'm only just now beginning to explore it, you may be kind of, you need to decide who you are in this thing. Are you really the man of or woman of a million voices, or do you have a thing? Do you have a niche? Are you for cartoons that are a little big kid cartoons? You know, where you sound like a real person? Or are you for the little kid cartoons where you could be a talking duck or a talking pine cone or the squeaks and the squeals and all that stuff? And some of us are all of that, and some of us are not. So I'm going to play a little bit more of the animation.
Hey, Jack, watch out! The enemy's on your tail. He's coming up fast. I'll try and cut him off.
Sharina, you gotta help me. I swiped these from Mr. Fletcher's lab. The master race of aliens who, disguised as pigs, have come to Earth to spread a mutant porcine virus.
Who dares to enter my kingdom without my permission? Whatever you seek here, you will not find.
If you find a weapon here that won't kill, you bring it on back and we'll give you something that will. It's our guarantee. If we can't kill it, it's immortal. Shut up, dweller, stupid. I ought to give you a concussion without any consideration and let that be the conclusion of our conversation.
We meet again.
We got hit! We're going down fast! Jade, man the controls. Ryan, come with me. We gotta pull her up and we gotta do fast.
Johnny,
What?
you are not stepping outside of this house until all of your homework is done.
Gee, crumbs, Mom.
We will not use that kind of language around this house.
Every second that ticks by draws you closer to your doom. It's only a matter of time. Go ahead and try to escape. I know everything about you.
Thanks for your flying lesson, Allie. But maybe I'm just not cut out to be.
So I was wondering if we were going to get to a character voice in the women's reel as well. But you can see with animation, there's a lot. And if you can do creature voices and all that stuff, then that's the place for that. Video games tend to be a little more grown up. Video games are evolving into high quality theater nowadays. You think Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, all of these Fortnites and all these things that really are not what we envisioned from the 80s when video games were first coming onto the scene. Here we go.
Archaeological log, grave reporting. The date is August 5th, 3027. The headaches are nothing. I'm fine. Today it ends.
Code red. We've been hit by an AP missile. We are under attack. All crew, prepare your battle stations for immediate retaliation now.
Who's that? Show yourself. I can see the enemy. They're here. Attack!
The Europeans transferred Green Vox to Newark, where Americans begin interrogations. This is not acceptable. Infiltrate Fort Campbell.
All right. So one thing I've learned, too, is that you want to start – it seems like the consensus is you want to start animation and video game reels with normal voice, with what you really sound like, in the context of a script. And then I've heard Dave Fennoy has said every video game demo should have at least one AI voice in it. Because that's so common nowadays. And you heard the girl's voice in that. And I thought, well, that's great for me. That's my most famous role. is an AI voice. So that's going to work out well. Trailers are not something we do a whole lot of outside of LA. Maybe Phil can jump into that, but here's a trailer demo.
In the 141-year history of the United States Secret Service, there's never been a traitor.
Agent who wants to help assassinate the president. We need to find this guy.
Until now.
Michael Douglas, Kiefer Sutherland, Eva Longoria, and Kim Basinger.
Get down!
The Sentinel.
Eva Longoria and Kim Basinger. I'm watching it. All right, radio imaging. Here we go. We've heard this.
Hello, Philly. How about some rock and roll classic style?
The radio station that loves to give away cash is ready to give you up to $10,000. Yes, star.
No. Commercials are history.
Number one for new country. We're homegrown in the central.
Now, the deal with imaging is if you're doing an imaging demo, it needs to be only one genre of imaging demo. So that you can't do a rock and country and easy listening demo. There's a rock imaging demo, a country imaging demo, maybe a classic country imaging demo, Christian contemporary imaging, so on and so on. Talk radio. Affiliates you may not have thought of. Here we go.
Live from Boston, this is 7 News at 6, Boston's news station.
Severe weather sweeps through the Central Oregon area. Ben Burkle and News Channel 21 is right there, keeping you safe and informed.
NFL football.
Narration.
Rides, games, food, fun. Pacific Park. Attention Pacific Park guests. The park will be closing in 15 minutes, but will reopen tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Until then, thank you for enjoying your evening with us, and please drive safely.
The ocelot is an opportunistic feeder. Pairs often hunt together, taking almost any prey that it can overpower, from small birds to medium-sized mammals. After hunting at night, the ocelot returns to treetops, where it sleeps.
Navigated by NASA's computer-assisted.
So there's a lot of different narrations, political, and I would say this, a lot of people have a liberal political demo and conservative demo, or some people just won't do the other side that they disagree with. I was casting for a Republican politician commercial last year, and a couple of people were like, "Oh, I didn't see it was Republican. Never mind, I'm not doing it." Whatever. Some people will do it for the other side, and then they'll take the money and immediately donate it to the action committees on their side. I'm just like I could spend that money the same either way. And frankly, I'm not that good. So if you wanted to cast me instead of that person from the other side, you're going to put somebody in the commercial anyway. I don't know. There's some things. Here's political.
20 years in Washington isn't enough for Ben Cardin. He wants more. More time to vote to cut missile defense, like he did before. More time to vote once again to tax Social Security benefits. November 7th, tell Ben Cardin his time is up. Just west of Big Sandy in Montana's Golden Triangle.
All right, and then, of course, you can do a Spanish demo, and then there's children demos and all that. So if you're bilingual, then just know that there's plenty of great Spanish. I can't really educate you much on the Spanish VO scene, but I can hook you up with people. So this is Chuck Duran's site, and it was just a good sample of those types of demos. I would say this, though. I would be leery of getting every single genre of demo done by the same person. You just can't be that good at every one of them, I don't think. I went here to DPN's website. DPN's one of the big 5 talent agencies in LA. I was once on their roster. They let me go, and really, in honesty, I had no business on their roster at that time in my life. And now I'm like, please take me back. But here are some examples of commercial demos, and I'm gonna go for. Well, you know what? I'm gonna click Allie Hoffman. Her name sounds friendly.
Allie Hoffman.
Also, you shouldn't slate your demo, but everybody on DPN's website does. So do it if your agent says to do it, but otherwise don't.
We used artificial intelligence software to write this ad. Would you trust AI software to drive your car? While others move towards a world without drivers, at Infinity, when it comes to autonomous driving, we'll keep you at the heart of everything. Infinity. Empower the drive. We used artificial intelligence software to write.
What the heck is that? That's not even a demo. That's like several takes of a commercial. Like you can hear the breaths and stuff in there. How? This is DPN. Okay, I'm getting
some background noise in that one. At the
yeah, all right. When we click Amy Lynn Stewart, we're going to see if she's better.
You mad, bro?
I am. Shit, ain't even a demo. Come on, DPN. All right, well, let's go to a better agency. How about Atlas? They're another one of the biggies out of L.A. And New York, really. What happened? Oh, I just typed Atlas. Atlas Talent. I really like the style of their website anyway. So let's go to commercial only here. Commercial, we'll do commercial men. And they've got a large roster, as you can see. Let's see. Ben Patrick Johnson is a big name in voiceover. How about Matt Rawlings? He's a friend of mine.
My girlfriend left me. I just got fired. Life is good. Bud Light, forget your troubles. Come on, get happy.
But that's only Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and only at H.H. Gray. We are the heart center of Indiana.
And when it comes to cardiac care in Indiana, there's no place better. With the Samsung's new picture phone from Singular Wireless, you can take...
So you see the different feels that Matt's got in that demo. Here's Joe Cipriano, one of the giants of voiceover.
Discover immersive entertainment in 4 times the resolution of full HD. Watch, stream, and browse in Ultra Surround. And enjoy all your favorite shows and movies more lifelike than ever before. Find the LG Ultra HD 4K TV at Best Buy. Filling your closet with all the latest fashions just got easy.
And notice that Joe's demo was 1.5 minutes. You could do that when you're Joe Cipriano. Joe's certainly a 7-figure voice actor. Certainly making $1 million a year. Here, let's do a couple ladies. Erica Lindbeck. Have we heard of her? I've heard of her. I think I follow her on Twitter. She follows me or something. Here, let's listen to her commercial demo.
We're for true foodies. We're for home shoppers. We're for whatever makes you. And that's why we built the Windows Phone around you. You know that neighbor who's always a little more passionate and fun-loving and, well, dangerous? Well, I just got these quirky benches and chairs from Pier 1 Imports. And now, I'm that neighbor. There's no feeling quite like the bigger, better, all-new 2014 Legacy. Love.
Hear that dreamy, sort of ethereal tone right there? That's a good contrast, and you want them to contrast like that and still have your strong ones up front. Who else can we listen to? Debbie Harada. I know she's awesome.
Classic styling, heart-pounding acceleration. The all-new Audi A3. Luxury without compromise. Make the most of every moment. Ask your dermatologist about Humira today. Clearer skin is possible. Start your holiday shopping this Saturday at Walmart. Buy any smartphone and get a $100 Walmart gift card.
Let's hear how her voice tone doesn't change. She's still got that raspy, almost nasally back throat. Older, she sounds like a 60-year-old woman, but her tone is different. And you can hear the range of her acting in this thing. And that's what we're aiming for in a commercial demo, is that range of, can you do cheerful? Can you put a smile in it? Can you sound a little more introspective? Can you sound a little more compassionate? Can you, that's what we're going for in that. Debbie just did a big Purina commercial recently. I remember it came out like last year. J.J. Jurgens is also a casting director. Anyway, let's look at a couple of pro narration ones. Let's see. So you know what? Randy Thomas. Some of you may have heard Randy Thomas's voice last night. She live announced the Oscars. So good. Randy's a giant of live announcing.
Publicity stunts are designed to attract attention. Their unusual sights draw crowds, provoke conversation, and stir up sales.
I'm gonna click ahead. 2.5 minutes.
In the strange lights and V-shape.
You can see the difference in those two reads right away. Kind of a matter of fact, and one's, oh my gosh, something is mysterious. Let's try another.
History of Las Vegas.
That earth-shaking rumble of a Harley engine. That unmistakable...
There you go. That's, even with narration, you want to show your range. And that demo is allowed to be a little longer. That one was 2.5 minutes long there. All right. Do we want to hear an animation one? There's Gabe Kunda. Who's friends with Gabe? I think Gabe lives in Dallas, and he's like 21. He is incredible.
Gabe Kunda. You can't beat me! How?
I'm your ruler. I'm your king. We got 4 incoming missiles coming our way. Move! Carson, you with me. Williams and Griggs, you go with Mac. This is what we train for. Now let's go get on board.
Hey, kid, what you doing around these parts? Oh, wait, let me guess.
So notice I haven't listened to more than about 30 seconds of anybody's demo yet. Most people don't, unless you're just really, really going for that. Is there anybody else in here we want to hear? Anybody see a name they like? Don't forget to double click so you can zoom in on my screen. Joe Zija, I'm trying to get him to come speak to our class this time around. Bo Weaver's a big guy. Let's see. Rebecca Reedy. Have I heard of her?
I'm a news reporter, okay? In my business, you learn a healthy mistrust of the government. They've been terrible through all of this. For all I know, they're the ones that had him killed.
I lived 10,000 lifetimes before the first of your kind crawled out of the mud.
Now, sweetie, you know we can't travel 200 million miles for a rock concert. Now, put on your shoes and get in the spaceship. We're late.
And Barros plots against those who oppose him.
All right. She sounds a lot like the next lady I'm about to show you. So Mara Juno is somebody that I wanted to show you. Mara is the longtime live-in girlfriend of a male voice actor named Jordan Reynolds, who is a demo producer. So Jordan and Mara each have a large number of high-quality demos. And Jordan is rapidly making his name as a quality demo producer. I don't know what his rates are, but I would assume they're getting up around the $2,000 range like all the big dogs are. But this is by far my favorite animation demo I've ever heard, and we may listen to the whole thing because the range here is spectacular. She's just world-class. Here we go. It would help if this was not muted. Hold on.
Master of tools doesn't just because I'm a master of tools doesn't mean I was raised ratchet. Hey, now who ate my last weenie spaghetti? Man, those are my grass-fed weenies too.
Hang on, I'm gonna back up because I realize my volume is so low. Here we go.
Just because I'm a master of tools doesn't mean I was raised ratchet. Hey, now who ate my last weenie spaghetti? Man, those are my grass-fed weenies too.
Sure, my parents were generous. Like, I got a nice car at 16, but at 18, I was cut off.
Yeah? I mean, I don't know. I'm not that good looking. And nobody is that good looking.
It's critical that the rest of the refugees land safely in Tetra. My mother is in ship A39, and I won't rest until this mission is complete.
To be or not to be? Is that the question?
You're still studying that foo-foo Shakespeare book. You're just wasting your time, sis.
Mom! Seth is interrupting the advancement of my native English tongue.
Good afternoon, my lovelies. As you can see from your test scores, most of you have done a pathetic job, just like every man in my life.
Why don't you fear me?
Most can't even bear the sheer presence of Bentrana.
It's the skulls, you know. The gods made me this way for a reason.
Please hand me your bag, sir. Sir, hand me your bag, sir. Let go of your luggage, sir. I am the professional.
Hey, Jake, how's that algebra homework? Why does your room smell like Snoop Dogg?
And what the hell did I teach you about sharing and caring? Puff, puff, pass, son. Oh, Swampy is my gym. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I want the. Really, make a big party.
All right, so what makes that demo one that we want to listen to the whole thing on?
A hell of a range.
Incredible range.
Everything.
Okay. Be more specific, please.
The scripts were all really entertaining. They were funny. Many of them were just they're different and entertaining just to listen to.
I'm still thinking about the last one when the next one rolls around, and so now I'm invested in the new one. And that's what you get when you pay for an expensive demo, is good copy. You always think, well, I could write my own. I'm pretty good at this. And then you realize, man, professional ad agencies hire copywriters, people who write copy. And that's all they do is they are just good at that. And you realize there's a skill there, just like there's a skill in voiceover that I don't have. And then but then her range is just spectacular. I mean, you see there, she calls herself the voiceover shapeshifter. And of course, she's recording on world-class gear, and her boyfriend produces world-class demos that people pay $2,000 for. So, but yeah, so that brings me to one of my points. I'm a big fan of having some humor in your very first thing in your demo. Because if you've got a commercial demo, and let's say it's a minute long and it has 8 commercials in it, so that's, 7 seconds each, I would like the listener to at least get to my second clip, right? I don't want them to go, okay, I know what he sounds like. I would like that first clip to be funny enough that they go, that's funny. Oh, here's our second clip. And at least you're in it to that. At least I've drawn, and then maybe, that sounds good enough. They're like, okay, well, let's see what else this guy has. And then, but I'm a big fan of humor, and mine doesn't have any humor in it. My commercial demo. I didn't have any philosophies back at the time. Okay, I'm putting up Lisa Biggs here for you. She's a friend of mine. I've had her as a guest speaker on the class before. If you are a girl, then you need to be linked up with Lisa Biggs on social media. She is one of the leaders of a group of female voice actors called the Voxy Ladies. Vox is business shorthand for voiceover, and she will not let me be in the Voxy Ladies, but she will let all of you, and you should be in that. She also hosts sometimes a Hump Day Wednesday hangout where everybody can just get on Zoom and talk about voiceover and stuff. So Lisa is awesome. But one of the cool things about Lisa, I don't know if it says it on her website here, is little voice, big talent. That's kind of her catchphrase. Lisa has a child's voice. She sounds like a kid, to the point that she has a couple of kids, and I said that in quotes, on her roster that are actually her. Liam Biggs is her little boy voice, and I don't know what the little girl's name is, but Liam is her little boy. But check this out. Even if you've got one of those abnormally childish voices, here's her promo demo.
Get ready for high-flying adventures! No fear! Adventure is near! With Space Racers!
This is my favorite TV show ever!
Join Eaglehawk and Robin as they blast off on a comic quest.
Now you're talking.
Saturdays at noon on Sprout. This summer, have a blast!
Okay, so that's promo, though, and you wouldn't have thought she would have had a promo demo. You would have thought she'd have been strictly animation. So don't forget that you can here's radio imaging, and here's the thing, too. If you really want to explore a genre, then go get some coaching in it and see what you can do in it. You wouldn't think that she did radio imaging.
Back to bed, commercial free.
Hi, this is Rihanna. I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Ed Sheeran.
Commercial free all hours.
T93. While you're Snapchatting, Facebooking, tweeting, and Instagramming,
Oh, darn it.
Dad's still trying to figure out how to take a selfie.
Took a pic of my nose hairs again.
Somebody help him. 397.9.
Here's a commercial.
Of dragons, fairies, and wizards. Behold, the magic and power of Fairy Wand. Girl power! With 19 locations, you get access to tons of camps.
All right. So I've considered going to Lisa for my animation demo. She's really good at finding animation work, and she lives in North Carolina. So that's something that motivates me there, because I'm not moving to LA. Maybe, probably, I'm not. I could. I don't know. But the idea that she gets animation work all over the world, that's pretty impressive. And she makes animation demos, and I think they're under 1,000, or they're getting real close to that. So that's something to think about. Here's her animation demo.
Wow! This is the best day ever! According to the manual, when an angle...
All right, so you get it. She's got a kid voice. Here, I'm going here to this thing. So where's the boy? Here it is, little boy voices. This is amazing. This is a girl.
Sunday night is movie night, presented by Walmart. Every Sunday night at 8:30. Walmart. Save money. Live better.
Now, listen to the little girl, and it's amazing how different those two are from the same person.
The Caped Crusader meets the Big Cheese. Evil cheeseless noodles.
That blows my mind. And so she's got all these things that she does. All right. So Lisa's another person, and she does coaching a little bit and all that. I may get her into this class this time around. We'll see. I'm going to Matt's now because I told you, Matt, I was going to try to get Matt to do my video game demo. But Matt's a pro, and he's doing this thing full time. And so here's an example of the same guy who's managed to pay for or produce numerous demos. Here's commercial.
For the teachers.
How much is a $50 worth?
And the rideshare drivers.
I'm your Uber driver.
For the party planners.
This is the room that's in a party.
And hospital scanners. For those who make the world go. We're here. We are FedEx. Why is Verizon's industry-leading network coverage so important? Because sometimes your heart and your sheep are...
Now check this out. You'll notice this nifty little player he's got here. This is made by VoiceZam, and that is a subscription service. And a lot of pro voice actors subscribe to VoiceZam. You can even take the little VoiceZam player and put it in your email signature block. I like it a lot. I just can't wrap my mind around subscribing to it. But I've heard from some people that they have really good data. Like you can look in there and see who clicked on what and how often they clicked and where did they take that to your website and all that. So that's pretty cool too. But what I really like is, okay, I don't like this Verizon.
Across a country road. Yeah, from Howdy. My dad thinks he's pretty hip. Knows all the latest. The way you work is changing.
So instead of just clicking off the demo this time, I just click to the next thing in the demo, which to me, that may be worth the subscription right there. And then now notice he's got each of his labeled by the client. A lot of people do this and they'll label each by the characteristic. So they'll put millennial, cheerful, introspective. And so then you're like, oh, that's because if you're a hirer, that's what you don't care about Marriott. You care about what the Marriott ad sounds like. Let's go to promo here.
With Starfleet losing the war, Peter comes face to face with a man upstairs.
I can't believe I'm stuck in an elevator with God.
And life's mysteries are revealed.
Will Taylor Swift and
a dangerous discovery.
Seems the fates have brought mentor and mentee back together.
Dua Lipa, season 13 winner Chloe Kohansky. Nicole gets more bad news.
Let's see video games.
Guys, shut up. We got a job to do. Prepare to exit the warp gate in 3.
It's up to you, young hero. Oh.
Stars and stones, I can't believe I'm even hearing this.
Now open your watch. I made it myself. It's a mini computer that can hack any device within 3 meters.
John, it's gonna be okay. Okay, Hansi.
Persecution, abuse.
All right, he's even got a curriculum on all that. So I showed you that to show you also a really nice website. That is really nice and clean, and people want to navigate it. And then I've got a couple more. Let's talk about J. Michael Collins. J. Michael is a giant in the voiceover industry right now, and he is not in LA, and he is not in New York. In fact, he spends most of his time in Luxembourg and Washington, D.C. J. Michael, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm not a huge fan. However, I am going to acknowledge that there is no one smarter about marketing voiceover than J. Michael Collins. J. Michael is the best salesman of J. Michael I have ever seen in my life. And if you'll notice, you will never see him dressed in anything but a coat and pants. Sometimes it's a bow tie. Sometimes it's no tie. No one has ever seen J. Michael in jeans, even at voiceover conferences. That's his brand. Classy, expensive, luxurious, and he produces, all he ever does is post pictures on Facebook of whatever food they're serving in first class on whatever flight he's on. Champagne, lobster, all this stuff. And he hosts, for the past couple of years, a European voiceover retreat. So if you're, a dozen people come to these things, but it seems like to me a lot of them are lady voice actors who have plenty of money and plenty of time. Because of whatever, but the retreats are phenomenal. But if you notice, he uses VoiceZam as well. And here's his demo. So let's listen to him. He's world class. He's good.
Yeah, it's a cliche now, right? A commercial about our company principles, how sustainability matters to us. why we try hard to minimize our footprint on the earth. Maybe, but we still live these values every day. Hashtag Patagonia to learn more.
Let's take a picture.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. We recommend 3 hashtags or fewer. Instagram.
We're by your bedside, down the hall, on call, all night, and all day.
6 months, half a year, 180 days. And this is Keith, strong, manly, busting through his tank top like an Adonis with a bit too much chest hair. Keith is your Verizon home installation tech.
So you can hear that's a phenomenal demo. But now, look, he's even made a commercials conversation.
When he says he'll...
Oh, that's what that one was. Then he's got commercials powerful.
This is Keith. We're by your bedside.
6 months. Yeah, it's a cliche now, right?
Let's take a picture.
That's the same one. He just did it in a more powerful mix. Where am I going here? I was talking commercial. Here's his demo.
You're getting your haircut. With one last flip of the brush, your stylist, Amanda, says her work here is done. The new Audi R8 Spider. Phil Mickelson knows that in golf, like it, after a hard day's work, a real man needs a real beer. Needs a real beer.
Now, if you'll notice when you hover here, you get a bunch of keywords. So apparently he's learned to play the game that VoiceZam does. And so he's got Coors, Western, Sam Elliott, rugged, booming, attitude, authority, authoritative beer, Coors, Budweiser, Miller, Burley. In other words, things people are searching for. So he's really got the game down. Now, J. Michael came out a couple of years ago and said 6-second commercials are the new thing, and you should get a 6-second commercial demo. Now, listening to a demo producer tell you should get a new type of demo is like listening to a barber tell you need a haircut. But quite a few people have bought 6-second commercial demo reels, and you've seen these 6-second commercials. I'm not sold on the fact that you need a separate demo just for that, but check his out.
Boy, what you need is a swift kick in the... Timberland work boots, the all-purpose boot. Try Lysol, because cats pee everywhere.
Timepieces by Cartier. Timeless elegance. Why do I ride so hard? Because good enough isn't good enough. Shimano. Bud. Beer. Beer good.
iPads 30% off this week only at Best Buy.
All right, so notice the descriptions here too. Western, dynamic, licorice, breathy, strong, funny, goofy, hard sell, warm, thoughtful, crazy, zany, and so on. So J. Michael, and I'll share more of my notes from J. Michael because when he speaks at conferences, I go and I take notes because he's got it going on. And I'll share a lot of things that I do on certain websites that I got from J. Michael. Here's a medical narration.
Gastrointestinal disturbances are among symptoms commonly reported by individuals diagnosed with myalgic encephalomyelitis.
Now, if you don't know how to say myalgic encephalomyelitis, maybe medical narration isn't for you. Okay, that's a very special genre. But I'll say this, medical narration is not commercials. You could probably get away with producing your own medical narration demo. Okay, that's really just showing medical narration producers, e-learning producers, that you can talk conversationally and still say ventricular analysis, that you can use triglycerides in a sentence. So if that's you, and if you've got a background, that's important. If you've never heard of telephony, here you go.
You have reached the Delta Airlines reservation line. If your baggage has been lost, delayed, or stolen, please press 4 to speak to a customer service associate. For new reservations, please press 1. For existing reservations, please press 2. For international travel, please press 3. Welcome to the Four Seasons Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. Hi, thank you for calling IHOP. We're currently helping other guests.
And there's two kinds of telepathy. Telephony. There is IVR, interactive voice response, like you're listening to, and then there are on-hold messages. So sometimes you're on hold, there's 8 minutes of hold, and you're going to listen to the voice actor tell you all about how great that company is in your 8 minutes on hold. I recently did a good 7-minute one for a law firm over on the East Coast, and it paid great. I mean, it paid, I can't remember, $800, something like that. It was nice. And really, they hired me to do it a second time because they got rid of a partner. I don't know if they fired him or not, but they wanted his name out of all the narrations, but wanted to keep everything the same. Explainers.
This is Harry Smith, actually, owner and proprietor of Harry Baby Daycare. Say hi, Harry.
Hello?
Great. Well, Harry was having a bit of a problem. You see, he buys diapers by the pallet, and his diaper supplier just raised their rates.
Sounds like a commercial.
Allow me to present this porcupine.
These all sound funny.
At these speeds, there is no margin for error. That's why the surface at the new National Corvette Museum Motorsports Park in Bowling Green, Kentucky is among the smoothest ever placed. The NCAA.
Imagine the videos you see on the website of a product or somewhere. It's an explainer video, a corporate. All right. And then I want to share, since we're talking about producers, Eric Romanowski. He's recently come onto the scene as a fantastic demo producer. And it's all he does. He's not a voice actor. He is a full-time demo producer. And his company is called Earblowing Audio. Radio imaging in particular, he's phenomenal at, but he's good at them all. Here you go.
Windows down, radio up. You guys rock. The best rock station. Laser 94.7. Hearing banjos on your canoe trip means paddle faster. Hearing us on our free mobile app helps you to paddle faster. Seriously, paddle faster. I hear banjos. Rock 102. 95.1 CZO is sneaking you into the front row for Bush and Chevelle as they take over Music Fest. August 11th on the Sand Steel stage. Tune in. Win the 4K a day cash giveaway. Listen weekdays at 7, 11, 2, and 5. It pays to listen to 95.7 R&B. The food's grilling, beverages are chilling, and the radio is playing. All turned up.
Okay, so that's all radio imaging. But he even does character and video game and all that. So all that to say, there's a lot of demo producers out there. Some of them are cheap, some of them are not. I'll say this, if they're charging $2,000, they don't charge $2,000 for long before no one hires them anymore, unless they are good. If they're charging $300, they're producing demos, frequently, but you're getting a $300 demo. So I throw that out there to say, be careful. I just had a radio imaging demo done recently for $150. I was just kind of playing with the whole thing and trying to get something as I was experimenting with the idea of reaching out to radio stations. And plenty of radio stations said, you sound great. One of them said, your acting needs to be better in it, which I thought was funny because that is a big deal in imaging now, but that I didn't think radio stations knew that. And I took it with a grain of salt. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it doesn't. But I know that the demo was not a fantastic demo with good copy written by somebody, and I didn't get coached through the recording of it. So there you go. All right. So we've been at this for an hour. Anybody want to ask a question about the demos? Nobody? Everybody's happy?
Step-by-step process on how to make one.
Who said that? Cameron? Scott asked,
Yes.
Can I give you a step-by-step process on how to make one? Find a demo producer, and that's the whole steps. And tell them you want to buy a demo produced by them. How to make one? No, I can't because I'm bad at making them. I did have a guest speaker named Chris McCann recently. Interestingly, we were speaking of Spider-Ham earlier because Chris played Spider-Ham in the Marvel Avengers Academy game that Steve and I are both in. And Chris went from zero to hero. I'm talking no clients in voiceover to full-time six-figure salary within 3 years. Just boom, 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 boom. And he lives in Birmingham, Alabama. Chris began by making all his own demos. He was like, I've got to have something made so that I can get going. And I can buy a big boy demo later on. And he did buy one from J. Michael later on. But Chris McCann, that's McCann with 2 C's and 2 N's, you may want to look up, does produce demos for a reasonable rate. And they work. Just know that if you have a demo that's that cheap, you got to upgrade eventually to be a contender and be aiming for the big agencies. But I am not. No, I can't give you a step by step on how to make a demo because mine. I don't. I don't have the tools. Scott Saxon, you probably do, because I think, didn't you major in video production at Full Sail, something like that?
No. I worked in game design and masters in creative writing. I can write stuff. I can write scripts and stuff. But when it comes to making videos and music, no, I'm self-taught with that kind of thing.
Okay, I thought somebody in the class, but anyway, you get what you pay for on the demo. That's for sure. And my demo's great. I like it. I just am not going to go back through them anymore, just because I felt like they were more after my money than anything else. That's not to say they didn't produce a good demo. They did.
Speaking of that, I did just want to throw in one of the Facebook groups that got recommended, I think by you and by Chuck when I took his little like mini intro class, was VOpreneur. There's lots of really, really talented, very, very professional people in there who gave me a lot of advice when I was looking into demo stuff. And there were a few like professional voice coaches on there that actually gave me some advice about like if I'm even ready to produce a demo yet, what sort of training I should be looking into. And they did it free of charge. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, the Facebook groups are an invaluable source, and I'm probably a member of, I don't know, 15 or 20 voiceover groups. VOpreneur is run by Mark Scott, Mark with a C, and I'll refer to Mark throughout the course as well. There's not many people that know voiceover marketing as well as Mark. And I had him as a guest speaker in the previous class, and I'm sure it got him some business. Mark has a lot of classes you can pay for. You know, you can spend $500 and get a 15-class series, or you can spend $40 and get one class that you really wanted. Maybe it's how to use LinkedIn effectively or whatever. So Mark is really good at all that, and he's a six-figure earner as well, and lives in small town Canada, I think outside Toronto. So again, not an LA person. Again, making six figures. The six-figure goal should be everyone's goal here. And I'm going to give you one more six-figure earner. There's a female voice actress named Danny States out of Seattle. Danny just posted something the other day where her first voiceover coach said to her, "What are your goals in voiceover?" And she said, "I would like to sign with a big LA agent, and I would like to earn six figures." And the coach said, "Hey, I'm just giving you tough love here. That's not going to happen. You just can't do it from Seattle, and you're starting this too late in your life. You're 50 or whatever, 45. And Danny is earning well over six figures and is represented by one of the major 5 LA voice agencies. So everything everybody tells you, take with a grain of salt too. Everybody only knows their little piece, right? It would be like if you asked Tom Cruise how to become an actor. Well, he doesn't know. He only knows how he became an actor, right? He only knows his one little path that he took. So bear that in mind, but you can do this. You can earn six figures in this. It may not be what you're looking for, but you can do this. And for many of us, that's what we're looking for, is just an escape from what we're currently doing. Oh my gosh, I was so ready to leave teaching. It was hurting me. Okay, so VOpreneur, yes, is a good website. Mark Scott just put out a free ebook recently, and I should share it with you guys, but I really probably should just give you the link so you can download it for free. Oh my gosh, my wife must be taking a bath. The water heater just started rumbling, like it literally sounds like somebody's rolling a big trash can past the booth. So yeah, I'll try. If you guys remind me in the Facebook group, I'll send you a link to Mark Scott's ebook. It's free. It basically what he did was he solicited one piece of advice from 30 successful voiceover people, and several of them gave way more than one. So it is really, you want to read 30 great pieces of advice from 30 people who are doing this well. It's a great document to read, and it's an easy read. What else on demos? Nothing. Okay.
I have a question, actually. I don't know. This might be a little broad, but like, do you have any advice for on how to tell when you're ready to start looking into getting a demo? Because that's, a big financial commitment.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I would say probably, okay, so if you have a voiceover coach, an acting coach, they should shoot you straight and tell you so. Then if you contact a demo producer, they should be listening to you and tell you so too. Now, I will tell you this, a $2,000 demo producer is much more likely to tell you you're not ready for me to produce your demo than a $300 demo producer. Because a $300 demo producer is trying to produce 10 of those a month if he can, right? So they're really just kind of trying to supplement their income. I'm sorry, Jenny, there's a black dot on my screen right on your forehead. And I couldn't get it off. It's still there. Anyway, now she's like, is it on me? So somebody having the integrity to say, look, I'd rather not have your money. And I've done that with this class. I've had people say, I'm a podcaster and I was hoping that you could help me take my voice over the edge and be a good podcaster. I'm like, no, I can't. This is not your class. But if you want to be a voice actor and get started in that, this is your class. So bear that in mind. And I don't know, it's almost like, well, if you're not any good and somebody will produce your demo, then you know, it's kind of like you shouldn't want somebody to produce your demo that would stoop to produce your demo. But you know what I mean? It's like Groucho Marx one time said, I would never be a member of a club that would have me as a member. And so that's I kind of feel that way about certain things in voiceover too. So that was a pretty broad answer, but I think the thing is, get trusted opinions from several people who say you're ready. So it's not just your acting; it's got to be your home studio as well. Unless you're in LA and you plan on doing your entire career in other people's studios. Most of us, even in LA, should be wanting to do it from our own studio, because Phil will tell you it ain't any fun getting anywhere in LA. Anywhere. Like, I stayed in an Airbnb a mile from the convention center and it wasn't fun. There wasn't a good way to get there. You either got to pay for it, or you got to pay for it in time or money. One or the other is how you got to get there. I drug a suitcase a mile to that convention center.
I guess that's a good jumping off point then. You were saying like one of the first things you'd want to do is speak to a coach and get sort of an opinion about whether or not you're actually ready to start looking into demos at all. Do you have any coaches or like resources for that?
All right. So I'm going to Google voiceover coaches and I just want to see who comes up because, all right. Need a voiceover expert? That's Fiverr.com. We'll talk about that site later, but that was a paid placement. All right. We got voiceover coaches. Find a coach today. Voices.com. Again, somebody who is paying a lot of money to get themselves up high. And then our first result is J. Michael Collins. Pretty good coach. And I will tell you that J. Michael will probably shoot you straight. I do know a guy who has a demo produced by J. Michael, and I think the demo is bad. And I told the guy that I thought his demo was bad. And he was mad that he paid $1,500 for it. It sounded reedy, like he was reading it. And he says, wow, $1,500 for reedy. And so then I was pretty upset because I was like, that's not it. But somebody else told me later, you know what it may have come down to is him telling him over and over again, you're not ready. And the guy saying, I need a demo, produce my demo. You know, and finally him saying, okay, I'm going to take your money. But you know what? I would be reluctant to put my name on that. Ready for your first voice acting coach? Here's what to know. And that's on backstage.com. Then we've got voicecoaches.com. Let me click on this. Never heard of them. Voice coaches, learn more. But I'll tell you this, they don't have samples of people's demos. You know, that's yeah, I don't see any samples of people's demos. And I see a lot of handsome people with microphones. It says award-winning customer service. I'm going to keep going here. Voiceover coaches are only interested in the money. Introductory El Paso voiceover classes. How did that come up in my search results? Wow, that's creepy. I'm clicking on it. It's suchavoice.com. I've heard of some people using them. I haven't heard great things.
Such a Voice is what I used.
Who's that?
Me, John.
Okay. And were you happy with them?
The coaches are good. I don't think the demo at the end of the classes is as quality as they claim it to be.
Okay. Has anybody or here's some people. Let's see. Here's Bonnie. Let's click on Bonnie. Is it going to do anything? Come on, Bonnie. Has anybody used Edge? Edge comes up in a lot of these searches as coaching and demo production as well. All right, let's see Bonnie's.
Quite the Google search.
It's a terrifying yet awe-inspiring sight. A great white shark leaping from the water to snag its prey. After all, how can an 11-foot shark jump 8 feet out of the water? It's not an illusion. It's real. And it's one of the reasons why great whites are nature's most dangerous.
I was watching your faces to see if you felt the same way I felt. That wasn't good. And if you were to ask me to articulate what wasn't good about it, I'm not sure that I could in an articulate manner.
It was like a commercial mixed with like a docu. Like it was not effective.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like she was telling the story. I felt like she was reading the words. And imitating sing-songy patterns in speech that she'd heard, but not saying it the way she would have said it. But all that to say, I'm not a demo producer. I'm not a straight-up voiceover coach. I've got some valuable opinions, but that's not my forte, is to listen to that and go, here's what was wrong with that. But what I will tell you is wrong with that is that she needs to go get some good coaching and some good demo producing. And she's not getting it there. So no offense to anybody there. Edge Studio is another one that pops up a lot in coaching and demo production. And I've got a friend named Alan Adelberg, who is a full-time voice actor in Austin. And Alan is super good. And he says that he started with Edge. And so I said, okay, so tell me about Edge. I actually got on a voiceover Facebook group and said, hey guys, tell me about Edge, because my students are asking. And Alan private messaged me because he didn't want to, start anything. And he said, basically, neither the coaching nor the demo production ended up being useful. I ended up having to go back and kind of undo everything that I had done with them. The value, though, was that Edge does casting also. And because I had spent so much money coaching and demo producing with Edge, then I'm on Edge's roster. And so I have been cast in a number of things that have more than paid for Edge over the course of time. So bear that in mind. Edge's CEO, David Goldberg, speaks at voiceover conferences frequently, and I've read voiceover copy in front of him before, and it's kind of nerve-wracking because he knows what he's looking for, and he listens to a lot of voiceovers. So I'm treated. All right, so now we're going down right after Such a Voice. We got Kay Bess. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Can you guys see Kay Bess here? Kay Bess is the keynote speaker at VO Atlanta next month. Kay Bess is really good. Global Voice Acting Academy should have some good stuff. One thing Global Voice Acting Academy has gotten known for lately is that they have a definitive rate guide on how much you should be charging. And everyone uses it. Let's see. Group classes would probably be worth looking at. This is a reputable organization, Global Voice Acting Academy. Demo production, I don't know about. I'm clicking on it to see.
Quinn O'Quinn used Global Voice Acting Academy.
Quinn's good. Quinn's really good. He was a student in one of my earlier classes. But I don't. Oh, here's a commercial demo. Let's see how Daniel Singer says.
You know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks. But the most advanced tool in gaming isn't even in the game. It's in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. So next time you log online, gear up with a drink that's designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Today's a big one for Brad. He's presenting his vision for the future of the company. Sadly, in an effort to be extra comfortable while displaying his ability to think innovatively,
Howard has the perfect solution for raising their kids.
Played with the kids, read them some stories, put them down for their nap, and made dinner.
Well, maybe it's not so perfect. The Big Bang Theory.
I'm friends with Heather Foster. That's why I clicked on hers to see what that was. And Kara Scott, I think, is one of my former students.
Why is Ben & Jerry's filled with so much good stuff? Maybe it's because so many other parts of adult life aren't. From your lack of...
I don't think that's her. Anyway, those sound good. Those sound professionally made and stuff like that. I would look at these people's names and I would reach out to them and ask them. Jace Reel, I know, is a teenager. Her mom, Bridget, is a full-time voice actor, and Jace is becoming one as well. And she usually brings Jace with her to the VO conferences. There's Bridget there. Let's see how she sounds.
When it's time to potty train, toddlers see things a bit differently. Pampers Easy Ups are the only training underwear with an all-around stretchy waistband and Pampers Superior Protection.
I'm seeing the names of some reputable voice actors here. Marielle Nuval is awesome.
Ever ask somebody to lend you a foot? Who thinks about stuff like that?
Brad Venable is awesome.
The enemy are assaulting the towns of Old Watch and Greygate.
Commander, we cannot afford to split our forces.
Brad's in a lot of, I see a lot of anime people. Shannon Torrance, bless her heart, just had some vocal problems lately and has had to leave voiceover. There's Dana Hurley. She's a friend of mine. Man, I know all kind of these people. Christina Malizia. There's Matt Curtis's animation demo. So there you go. Okay. So I would say their demo production is probably worth looking into. Their coaching is probably worth looking into too. I would definitely spend some time there, GVAA. And their rate guide. We'll visit that later in this class, but it's a great place to go when you're not sure what you're supposed to be charging for something. Is it on here? Here. Well, I have a shortcut to it right here. I'll show that to you while we're here. We've got a minute or two. Come on, rate guide. Here it is. So down here, you can go into your categories and say, okay, well, let's say I'm doing an e-learning piece. It's standard to charge $25 to $55 per finished minute, or 20 to 35 cents per word, or $1,500 to $3,300 per finished hour, or $600 to $2,400 per raw hour. So when you get that African client who says, we would like to hire you for this 17-hour e-learning, and we're willing to pay 10 cents a word, you can go, nah. Then again, for 17 hours, it might be worth cutting that down in half. But I've had people offer me 5 cents a word. No. Animation and dubbing, $75 to $200 per hour with a 2-hour minimum is about right. It's not a lot. I got $200 an hour with a 3-hour minimum for the Paladins video game. Here's another $200 to $350 an hour for video games. If it's a union video game, it's $825.50 per session, up to 4 hours. Toys and games, promos and imaging, audiobooks, cinema and events, studio fees, yada, yada, yada. It's all in there. That's a cool resource to have. Okay, back to my search for voiceover coaches. Let's see. I will tell you a couple of coaches that I used last year that I'm about to spend some more money on. I don't know anything about Linda McAllister except that she's an agent in Dallas, but that shows up as voiceover coaches, and I've never heard anybody else say they use them. But I don't know. Julie Williams, I know coaches and does pretty well. I've heard of Harlan Hogan. He even has a microphone named after him, but I've never heard anybody say they got lessons from him. Ann Ganguza coaches a lot. She's excellent. Let me show you who I've used. Mary Lynn Wisner. Now, also one of our students in our class who should be watching this now, Sarah Ruth Thomas, has started coaching lately, and her rates are pretty affordable, well under $100 an hour. And I've heard people say good things about it. So if you're just scraping up cash trying to get anything, but Mary Lynn Wisner, I've taken lessons with her. She charges $175 an hour, one-on-one Skype. And I will tell you this: I took 2 lessons with Mary Lynn. I went to voice123.com and did what Mary Lynn told me, and I won a $400 audition. Then I went and took a guy named Dave Walsh, because someone told me if you like Mary Lynn, you're really going to like Dave. I took 1 lesson with Dave. That's not him. Here he is. And I took 1 lesson with him, and I went and it didn't pay for itself, but I was shortlisted in the top 2 for a character on a Cartoon Network series based on what Dave taught me. I was like, boom. I didn't get the part, but I was pretty psyched to be in the top 2 for that based on my audition from what Dave told me to do. So, and then Dave also produces demos. I don't know anything about his demos. And there are lots and lots and lots of demo producers out there. So if you ever find one and you want to email me, I can tell you what I know about them or what I think about them. And that's an offer for life. So 8 months after this course is over, you can email me and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting a demo done with such and such. What do you think? It's $800. And I'll tell you what I think if I have time anyway. Here's Dave's demo reels, full demo package, $26.95. a la carte spot production, $275 per hour. Full demo refresh, $275 per hour. I don't know what all that means. Okay, so demo. What's the first demo you need to start with if you don't have any yet? Commercial. Because you can show your range in a commercial. You can show your acting chops in a commercial really better than anything else. In an animation demo, not only do you need to show your acting chops, but your character chops as well and all that too. But commercial first. I've got a good commercial demo, and I think a decent e-learning demo. Jean-Francois Donaldson produced my e-learning demo for free for me when he was trying to get into demo production, and I thought he did a good job on it. But now, 2 years later, I look back on it and go, here's what I'd like to do differently. Here, let me share with you what I got. My desktop. My commercial demo, hopefully you've heard, or hopefully you were like listening to things saying, should I take a class from this guy? But I like it. Here it is.
The outdoors misses you. Get back out there with Off Deep Woods. The long-lasting mosquito protection frees you to reunite with the great outdoors.
Enjoy fresh guacamole prepared right at your table.
And I made that in like 2014. So I'm really due to kind of update my skill. Here's the narration demo. Made this one myself. It's junk, but
anglers today are confronted with many options. To select the correct baits and approach, many variables must be carefully considered. While evaluating these constantly changing variables,
first of all, I think that the pieces in my narration demo are too long, but they are all clips of real things that I narrated. And I could probably go back and collect some better things. My e-learning demo. Oh, wait.
Welcome to this learning. Anglers know that the fundamentals of fishing always remain the same. Mississippi, 1964.
So there's a different feel.
It is freedom summer in the midst of the civil rights
battle. This is how you fish in salt water.
Also,
this is
height of the Cold War. Freedom summer. Stop and remember the 6 million Jewish.
And that's so old.
The module on the Directed Evolution Technology Platform by Kappa Biosystems. Here we'll learn how new polymerases.
What I wanted to do in e-learning was show that I had some medical scientific terminology that I could do. I wanted to show a little bit of cheerfulness. I wanted to show a little bit of urgency. So some of these I wrote, and some of these are straight out of real things. The two that I wrote are the Army one and the math one. Here we go.
Are evolved for improved properties via the process of directed evolution. After completing this module, you should be able to explain the active differences between identify the jumper and are being towed by your universal static line modified and are unconscious, or do often view the definite integral of a function as the area under the graph of the function between two limits. It's not.
Notice that one doesn't have music behind it. There's a lot of debate on e-learning whether you should have music in it or not. And so my philosophy is do some with and some without, right? Because the e-learning producer is going to produce it. They may want to hear what your raw stuff sounds like, but still some of them, their minds may be swayed by the quality of a full-blown production. They go, oh, that sounds fantastic. That's what I want mine to sound like, right? Even if they can't make it sound that way. So I'm kind of a fan of both of those. Let's see what else I have. I'm not doing my video game demo because I don't like it. I'm not doing this character reel because I don't like it. Here's the country radio imaging demo that I paid $150 for. And I went back and made him redo a lot of stuff.
Get ready for country like you've never heard before. Here at 101.5 Cruise Radio.
Oh, snap. Look what time it is.
Counting down today's country hits.
What do we got here?
This is the Country Countdown.
I listen when I'm driving to work.
On my way to work.
And when I'm going home. Non-stop.
Country Countdown. On Veterans Day and every day, Kiss Country honors our veterans. Thank you for your service. If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay off the porch.
What? What are you even talking about?
This ain't your daddy's country music. This is Big Dog Country.
Okay, here we go.
Now.
Anyway, I got a Nigerian dude to do that. He found me on Facebook and said, I make demos. So, I mean, it's not the best in the world, but it was enough to send to radio stations. And then I've just kind of lost interest and energy pursuing radio stations right now. That's a whole genre. There are voice actors out there that only do radio imaging. And they do. I mean, if you're on 30 stations roster, and 30 is not that many. I mean, and they're sending you $200 a month every month on the first of the month, it's $6,000 a month. You just wake up on the first and there's $6,000 in the bank. And during the month, you're available to record 1 or 2 pages for each of those stations whenever they want. And when I say 1 or 2 pages, it's not a page of audiobook. It's a page of Get Ready for Country like you've never heard it before. It's an all-hit weekend here on blah, blah, blah. It's a 2 for Tuesday on Star 95. It's those all day long, Join us next week in the Walmart parking lot for free hot dogs and country music, bloom, bloom, bloom. And I'll tell you more about imaging later. I got a whole class on that too. All right. We are near the end of our time. I have time to tell you your assignment. Your assignment, for those of you who didn't do your assignment last week, that's fine. You don't have to do it. It's okay. I saw the face. It's not college. If you don't do it, you don't do it. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out there and listen to at least 5 different voice actors' demos. I want you to avoid listening to your favorite voice actor. Part of that is the whole never meet your heroes thing. What you'll find is a lot of the greats don't have great demos. And they don't have to have great demos. They're the greats. They just get a phone call that says, can you come in and record? Well, that means they're not the person to learn from on this lesson, right? Like I've seen, like Todd Habercorn has like a 3-minute long demo. And I'm like, good Lord, Todd. But it's Todd. Everybody just calls Todd. Todd's fantastic. And, sometimes you get to the point where you're just making money and you're busy and you don't have time to go make a good demo. You've got the same demo you had 8 years ago. So Google around a little bit and listen to at least 5. And then I want you to share one with us in the Facebook group and say, hey, listen to this demo. So pick a demo that you feel we would all want to listen to. And then explain to us why you picked it. Articulate to us what made this demo a good demo. Was it the range? Was it that they were able to do, what were the things that made this a demo worth listening to? Somebody in the chat said something about Rob Paulson, who is a giant also. Yeah, same demo for like 15 years. And Rob's one of the Ninja Turtles and Pinky and the Brain and who knows what else. He's a million things. Rob's busy. Rob's agent has Rob running left and right to studios all over LA every day. And this class is not getting you there, right? That's a whole other highway of voiceover. What this class will do is get you to where you're making a decent living so you can go to LA with that. So instead of waiting tables, you're in your booth where the microphone is, and then in between those gigs, you're going out to the studios. So at least you're in the room where your microphone is, and not having to say, hey, boss, you think I can have a minute off to go to an audition?
It's all about starting points.
It really is. So that's, and Phil's already in LA. And if you want to ask Phil what the LA scene is like, I'm sure he's willing to chat about that. I've had students in LA and New York in almost every class, and man, it's a different world, but everything we talk about in this class applies to LA and New York also. And I can lean you in those directions as well. Save me from food service, Andy. That's awesome. I'm working on it, brother. All right. So homework again is to listen to 5 demos from 5 different voice actors or actresses, if you want to genderize it, and then post one for us all. Tell us why it's a good demo. And then if you're participating in this class, listen to the demos that your classmates have posted. So not only have you listened to 5, but you've listened to another 10 that your classmates have posted, and comment as well. I'm going to tell you this. 2 classes ago, we had a dude post a demo. He ran it and raved about it. He said, it's fantastic. And I listened to the demo and I went, that's really bad. That's not, the acting is bad. The technical quality is bad. And a couple of his classmates like gently said things like, are you sure? And then like 5 days later, he said, everybody, wait a minute. I just listened to this with headphones on and I retract my statement. This is not a good demo. So don't feel bad if you listen to somebody's demo and you say, I don't see why you thought that was a good demo. That's, we want to get our brains on that. I listened to some just a minute ago and I thought, that guy sounds like he's talking too fast. But sometimes that's the demo they're trying for. Those commercials get booked just like, I listened to a commercial the other day that I thought was absolutely awful because I'm 47. That's why I thought it was awful. A 25-year-old would have thought it was the best commercial ever. It was like some guy, and he's like talking like this, and I was like, that's the most ridiculous sounding commercial I've ever heard. It was stupid. That's what he sounded like. It was a Facebook commercial that everybody and their friend auditioned for. Buy weed from me, Andy. Are you serious? What are you doing? You know how many times in my life I've smoked weed by age 47? 0. I've still smoked weed 0 times. But I'm telling you what, the day I retire from the Army, I'm going to. I will probably get busted buying it from a cop the day I retire from the Army. And they'll be like, Colonel, do you smoke a lot of weed? And I'll be like, no, this is the first. Sorry. I just, Anyway. So, all right. Any questions on the assignment? Everybody's shaking their head like they know that no one else has any questions. Did you guys take a poll? No, I'm kidding. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put the assignment up on Facebook. And does anybody want to be the host when I leave? Anybody definitely sticking around for a minute?
Sure.
Who said you're Jenny? Jenny, you're the host. This is just remember, with great power, great responsibility. I had a student in my first class. He would mute people. He was having a blast as the host. All right. So good night, everyone. We will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.